Zeus, the mighty king of the Olympian gods. His tale begins with his father, the Titan Kronos, who feared a prophecy that his children would overthrow him one day. So, as each of Kronos' children was born, he swallowed them whole, imprisoning them in his stomach. But when Zeus was born, his mother Rhea tricked Kronos by giving him a stone wrapped in cloth, while the baby god was hidden in a cave on Crete, and was secretly raised until he was strong. Then, with the help of the wise Titaness Metis, he devised a plan to free his siblings. Metis gave Zeus a special potion to give to his father. Zeus disguised himself as a cupbearer and offered Cronus the drink. Cronus, unsuspecting, consumed the potion. The powerful concoction forced him to violently vomit up all the children he had swallowed, and with them fought a great war against the Titans. When the battle ended, Zeus stood as ruler of Mount Olympus, and as lord of the sky, thunder and lightning became his weapons. His siblings like Poseidon got the sea, Hades got the underworld. Zeus also had a daughter named Athena, who, instead of being born in the usual way, suddenly sprang out of Zeus's head, a goddess of wisdom and war. Across Greece, people built great temples in Zeus' honor, the most famous being at Olympia, where the Olympic Games were held. He was seen as protector of kings and keeper of justice. Ra, he was the great sun god of ancient Egypt, worshipped as the creator of life itself. Emerging during the Old Kingdom around 2600 BCE, he was believed to have risen from the primordial waters of chaos, bringing light and order to the universe. Depicted as a man with a falcon's head crowned by the solar disk, Ra traveled across the sky each day in his solar bark, illuminating the world. At night, he journeyed through the underworld, battling the serpent Apophis to ensure the sun's rebirth at dawn. Ra was not just a god, but also the pharaohs often claimed him their father, tying themselves to divine power. Over time, Ra merged with other deities, most notably Amun, becoming Amun-Ra, worshipped as supreme god. But Ra also had a serious side. In one myth, when humans defied him, he unleashed the lion-headed goddess Sekhmet to punish them. Despite the decline of Egyptian religion, the temples once dedicated to Ra in Egypt were later visited and repurposed by the Greeks and Romans, but merged him with their own deities. The Greeks associated him with Helios, the radiant charioteer of the sun, while the Romans linked him with Apollo, the bringer of light and prophecy. Buddha, earlier known as Siddhartha Gautama, was not born a god, but a man. Around the 5th century BCE in northern India, he was a prince sheltered from life's suffering. When he encountered sickness, old age, and death, he left his palace in search of truth. For 6 long years, he embarked on a grueling spiritual quest. He sought guidance from various teachers and practiced extreme forms of asceticism, depriving his body of food and sleep until he was but skin and bones. Yet he found no answers. He learned that neither extreme pleasure nor extreme self-denial would bring him what he was looking for. So he embraced a middle way. He accepted a simple bowl of rice from a young girl and sat down under a large fig tree. For 49 days he meditated, confronting his inner demons and the temptations of the mind. And finally he attained enlightenment beneath the Bodhi tree, becoming the Buddha, the awakened one. He taught the 4 noble truths and the Eightfold Path, guiding followers toward liberation from suffering and the endless cycle of rebirth. Buddhism does not present Buddha as a god in the way Zeus or Shiva are gods. Instead, he is a teacher who reached ultimate wisdom. Yet in many Buddhist traditions, especially Mahayana, the Buddha is venerated almost like a divine being, and countless statues and temples portray him with radiant calmness. Shiva is one of the principal deities in Hinduism, also known as the destroyer within the Trimurti, alongside Brahma, the creator, and Vishnu, the preserver. His origins can be traced back to the Indus Valley civilization, where Proto-Shiva figures like the Pashupati seal show a horned yogi surrounded by animals. He is often depicted in deep meditation on Mount Kailash, or as Nataraja, the cosmic dancer whose movements symbolize the cycles of creation and dissolution. Myths describe him drinking poison to save the universe during the churning of the ocean. Shiva is worshipped in countless forms, but perhaps most famously through the lingam, representing his formless cosmic power. For many, Shiva means that which is not, the limitless nothingness from which everything arises. The origin of Shiva is not clearly known. Some see him in the Vedas as Rudra, others see as the Adiyogi. Amaterasu, the Shinto sun goddess, is one of Japan's most important deities. According to myth, she was born from the left eye of her father Izanagi god, while he was said to be bathing, and when he wiped his left eye, he found a beautiful goddess was born. Amaterasu ruled the heavens with brilliance, but her brother Susanoo was wild and destructive. In his rage, he tore through her sacred rice fields and even threw a flayed horse into her weaving hall, shattering her world. Heartbroken and furious, Amaterasu hid herself inside the heavenly rock cave. The moment she vanished, the skies turned black. Crops failed and the rivers froze. The gods gathered in desperation. How could they bring back the light? Then the goddess of dawn and mirth, Amino Uzume, devised a bold plan. She placed a mirror at the mouth of the cave, hung sacred jewels, and all the gods started to dance and singing echoing through the heavens. Inside the cave, Amaterasu grew curious. She peeked out and saw in the mirror a dazzling radiance. Entranced by her own light, she stepped forward. In that instant, the gods pulled the cave open and the world got the sunlight back. She is enshrined at East Grand Shrine, one of Japan's holiest places where rituals to honor her have continued for centuries. Even today, the Japanese emperor traces his lineage back to Amaterasu, linking myth directly to living tradition. Ahura Mazda. He is the supreme god of Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, founded in ancient Persia around the 6th century BCE by the prophet Zoroaster. His name means wise lord, and he represents truth, light, and goodness. Ahura Mazda was not born nor created. In Zoroastrian belief, Ahura Mazda created the universe and all that is pure, but his creation is constantly threatened by Angra Mainyu, the spirit of chaos and evil. Humanity's role is to choose between good and evil, with free will determining the fate of the world. Unlike gods with human flaws, Ahura Mazda is transcendent and perfect, though he communicates through Amishaspentas, the 7 powers of goodness he created. Fire, a symbol of purity and light, became central to his worship. Zoroastrianism heavily influenced later religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, through concepts like heaven and hell, angels and demons, and final judgment. Though his followers are few today, Ahura Mazda stands as a turning point in religious history. Odin, the all-father of Norse mythology and the ruler of Asgard, was not just a warrior god, but a seeker of wisdom above all else. But even before Odin was the all-father, there was a void of ice and fire. From it came the giant Ymir, and from Ymir's death, Odin and his brothers shaped the world itself. And in the Viking Age, he became central to stories of fate and power. Also, Odin was said to have sacrificed an eye at Mimir's well in exchange for knowledge, and hung himself upon Yggdrasil, the world tree, for 9 days and 9 nights, pierced by his own spear without food or drink. At the edge of death, the runes revealed themselves, and Odin returned, not weaker, but filled with knowledge that would shape the destiny of gods and men. These sacrifices made him a god of wisdom, poetry, and sorcery, as well as war. He was also commanding the halls of Valhalla, where brave warriors who died in battle were brought by the Valkyries. There they feasted and trained, preparing for Ragnarok, the final battle when gods and giants would clash, and the fate of the cosmos would be decided. Yet he knew that even he could not escape Ragnarok, and where his own doom was written. Allah. Before Islam, Arabia was home to many gods and idols, each tribe with its own protector. Yet above them all, some Arabs spoke of Allah, the supreme creator, distant and undefined. When the Prophet Muhammad began preaching in the 7th century, this distant figure was revealed as the one true God, eternal and indivisible. The Quran described him as beyond form, yet closer to a person than their own heartbeat. No statues, no temples, only words, prayers, and the power of revelation. Through this idea, scattered desert tribes united into a vast civilization, carrying the name of Allah across continents in calligraphy, and yet, unlike the gods of myth with clear beginnings, Allah has none. He was said to exist before time itself. But the Quran goes further. It tells us that Allah is the same God who spoke to Adam, guided Noah, tested Abraham, revealed the Torah to Moses, and blessed Jesus with miracles.